Yat Edo Hehan Shik Edo Shedine. Vice President Lizer here. Welcome to another town hall, COVID-19 updates and other pertinent information. We're looking forward to updating you all across cyberspace along our social media platforms. And want to give a shout out to Eli Leslie, who always gets us up and ready to go, President and I, and our guests, Dr. Jim today and Arbin Mitchell, and not sure who else. I'll look at my agenda here, but first things first, let us open up with a word of prayer, and then our President, Jonathan Nez. Yes, Shidi God, we thank you this morning, Lord. We look for your wisdom, Lord. We look for your hand in all this this virus, this pandemic, Father. Lord, we pray for the people, Lord, that are hurting, that are sick, that are questioning, Lord, that you would come alongside them, Lord, that you pour out your grace and your mercy, Father God. We plead the blood for them, Lord. We plead for mercy upon every soul that is on here on Navajo, Lord, and across the land and across the world, Lord. You know each and every one, Father. We thank you. We ask for your wisdom and knowledge, Lord. And Lord, we just look to you for everything, for guidance, for direction, for healing, for protection, most of all, Lord, for your salvation. We thank you again. We ask you to be with us in this meeting, Lord, as we give out the data, the information, Lord. Let many, Lord, act on it, and let many be observant, Father, and be mindful that these are the ways of this pandemic, Lord. The health laws, the emergency protocols that have been set in place, Father. Let many adhere to it, Father, and be found safe. Lord, we ultimately look to you for that safety and that protection. So we dwell in that. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So we thank you for joining us this morning at our town hall update, and we wish to just extend pleasantries and good tidings to all of our citizens out there across Facebook Live. And so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Navajo Nation, Mr. Jonathan Nez.
Myron Lizer, Vice President, Nanishin Inigido and Hayan Tigi Bahe Nitz. Aro the Nebike Yapka o Daisnal Sagi, Yate Ado She Yakdo Shin Slong Nessa Nipashin. Tudchini da Shichiro Trachini da Shanala Shanto da Inasha. Aro Inash Inigishis Ophelia. Aro Shachin, Chris, Alex, Kelly, and Sean. Got out a yard and he need all this. Quan how do and Nikija Condale Ingi. Aro Denia Naho Agia. Kudo the Kosenska Gina states out that the national Banda Wheelne, Nakijinda and National, or Dean Jinda and National, and done that national. A co you, Hanet Halond. Today you see a Konash Negi a Binia, Kudo Banaho, the town hall meeting, WD Nenegi. Aro are Kedahut in the Kedahut Tinigia could you there don't lay arch also Kedoshin are Hina Nishitas Inigi Ado Lashia London da Sotra Aro Con Ralchen Jego da Iltragido Benanish Edil Inigi Kudo Hanet Nija Ashton and Daili Ichishi Dr. Jim Kuja Tis Bahayaj Ikides Ido Aja Tilade Large not Ani Nakanal Nasho without a Shanabes Bikadil or without Bananish Badelia Nihin Nature Ado Kodoshi Ashi La nantit yije kolne to le jodi kontinne ni galchen US Census jandal nishigi denne da yoshkagi ado ni hishindo hanne to nantin don hi jo ba de yoke ashwade e kodo bilkeda hotnigi US Census budget ashjan da do lil da bedi no kut e ya kadija e shi kodo US Census ne Arbin Mitchell ni je hat sich do leltina dina snegi del kagi e kodo banashne sost din do tra de milliage doba hastra neznatin do zebetin doba tin enel tau ekon das kha tesda betilia ado dinashni da tol nagi e ya zebi de milliage do hastra neznatin doba sost tsata ako Asian a yanle dinashnegi koje ya ni da do di change e kota e ya enelt kon da tolna akonde ndishni di yiche das kregi do ayat en das lengi ya edo ndel kahode yiche das kregi e hastra neznatin hastra de milliage ka neznatin do ba hastra tin do ba anast e enelt e kon recover techniki yiche das kregi yat enda slengi konella kadije ara ti nezna tindo ba ana tina ke kon yikeni nan yita adajiten ado di de kosinskagi benina ado eshido patso deals and dije ado kondo yikeni na ba patso deals and oda. Now Eli, you can put the chart, the first one up. I want to give you an overview of the tests completed. There have been 73,684 tests that have been given. And now we are beginning to let our healthcare facilities know that we need to start tracking those that have been tested more than once, because these are just tests given. It doesn't show how many have been tested more than once, right? And so we are going to begin to ask our epidemiology team to track that. And as you see on the chart, in the past day, there have been 880 tests that have been given back to these healthcare facilities with results. The negative tests this far, and this is from the start of the pandemic to today, 60,132. So those that came in yesterday, those are the negative tests of 900. The positive tests, 8,617 have tested positive, and 24 is from the previous day to today. So if you go back up to the test completed, 800 came back in and it doesn't match up. It's because there are still some that are pending. They're still at the labs and they're still coming in. So that shows the difference if you were to add them up. Recoveries, 6,369 have recovered to this day. And 422 of our loved ones have passed because of COVID-19. Our prayers continue to go out to those who've lost loved ones. You know, this pandemic has affected every single person here on the Navajo Nation, including me, including the vice president, including many of the healthcare professionals that have been guiding us along the way, and including you, our viewers, our constituents. You know, we pray for strength, we pray for wisdom, we pray for protection, we pray for good health for our Navajo people. And I know that God is looking upon us, and you can see that with the reduction in numbers. But we cannot let down, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot stop wearing masks. We cannot stop the social distancing. We cannot stop washing our hands with soap and water as often as we can. And we can't stop from staying home. We need to help each other during this time. And again, I applaud you. Kudo shikedo shinna ihinanish datlagi ba henitz. Di nasnigi at kosinskagi ko yakon ni lo da na bekia pakao. Aro kudo banda huilna. O go belagana bekia pen ihinago keda hatinigia. E andi de koni de kosinskagi bedadolnagi. Ebony na ikodo ni joba de ni ke ashkonish ke notlini ada hosya o ani agan da sot khanda di ninda jun nalia ba gana shila chiyanda to ha ishi da nosnigi di betlin dal enigi da hosni adj anda khigo di mask that egi chadalle Niki Chiton is Zeb Gedastio, Lego Tradato Kaha Schwad. Aron Hill that dot Hadakis. Kona Liabahano Ogo, the Kalawish to Trodahalo. Yilla bet Hadakis, Squad Alsa. No Krigo. Yilla Tradakis. Judina Snegi is it or Bahalonda. Abah Bastioda. Ebony na ekodon hijoba deni kedon jonogon hinana shidalla ebony na yakoni lebike abaka okon de tro de ya a yego de koni binagi shi di mask that egido chuda yolinda ado ahavan da sotra hatnegi to kin gotla to shin don da je nihinalo kondon da jeta kon the bit the ya bit tanzno chandak kon la belagana bil khada de jehota ebini na ekodo dabdi neya di ni Navajo Nation that they'll call the more yajgona do the more gonna do I ash astra se biol kilodonle shla ol kilobino don da jeta Ebony na kodabidi na belagana ni kwan khanda khagi atskin logo chda kha to di denabiki apakao ado chbini nagi ado konda khebini nagi jo as stores that they'll call do ado analia ba gando Don da jeta da bedina. Mask chudas and da bedina. No, da eya. And that which I couldn't daily. Eli, go to the next slide. And I'm going to show you the cases, the up-to-date cases here on Navajo. And yes, as I said, we see reductions here on the Navajo Nation. But we got to continue to evaluate what's happening off our Navajo Nation. There's increases happening. And if you look at the trend from the start of the pandemic, you can see how it went up high. And now towards the end there, you can see the numbers starting to drop. If you look back 6 or so days ago, there was an 80 and 79. And what we're thinking there, that was the 4th of July weekend. So that means that many of our people stayed home, and I appreciate that. And people are continuing to wear masks. And thank you for doing that. We can't let down. We got to keep doing what we're doing. If you go to the next chart, it shows the 8 service areas again. And I know this is repetitive, but you're asking for this data. The public wants to know. And this is why we present it at our town hall meetings. And you can see a downward trend there of all 8 service areas. We have seen a uptick in Winslow and Gallup, but it continues to show that overall it's starting to decline here on the Navajo Nation. So at some point, we are going to begin to talk about reopening the Navajo Nation. Services have to be provided, right? And if we continue to keep our nation closed, we are unable to provide those direct services to our people. And so it's a balance. I know that there's concern, and safety and the health and well-being of our Navajo citizens is very important to us, as well as our employees. But our people out there are having a difficult time with services, especially now with a drought. Watering points are only open a couple of times a week for only a certain amount of time. And we are hearing that because watering points are closed, citizens are now going off the Navajo Nation to get their water. And here we want to keep our citizens within our nation, during this time. And so we need your help, Navajo citizens. Employees, some employees are saying that they can't be forced to work during this pandemic. I understand that. Especially those that are in that most vulnerable population category. And how do we help those employees? They're being paid by the Navajo citizens right now. And we want productivity here on the Navajo Nation for our citizens. And we are in the process of finalizing our plan to reopen in stages, businesses. One thing that we are considering, I know that many of us are cooped up in our homes, but I ask you for your patience, because we extended the 57-hour curfew to the first weekend in August. So this weekend and the next weekend will be closed. The weekends will not have businesses or roads open. And it's for the well-being of our people. Now, as we talk about reopening, I know that we want to help get people out of the homes too, and that's going to be what we're looking at in August. Maybe it is time to reopen the tribal parks and the lakes, but for Navajo citizens, so that they can get some recreation and some exercise in as well. But we also need to be cognizant of the social distancing and the wearing of masks. Even if we open our parks and our lakes, we have to wear masks. We have to abide by social distancing. And that's what I'm talking about, slowly transitioning the reopening for the Navajo Nation. And I was trying to look for the statistics that I had. I wrote them down, but I missed. Well, actually, here it's on my paper. The Navajo Nation government. The Navajo Nation government has had people working, the essential employees. There are over 4,600 Navajo employees. And the bringing back essential workers in a phase-in approach. Essential workers, let me tell you that, we're essential workers. We have brought in more than 50% of those Navajo Nation employees, maybe up to even 60%, 70%. So right now, 3,620 Navajo Nation essential employees are working. And we're making sure that they are healthy. We let them know that they shouldn't be traveling on their off time, because these are individuals who provide those direct services to our citizens, CXRs, some of the senior citizen staff. But like I said, there are folks that are in that vulnerable population category. Maybe they have a health issue. And how do we, get productivity here on Navajo without putting our employees into what they think could be a situation if they go back to work? So we're talking about things like working from home, teleworking, doing them in shifts, and even providing, and we're working on this, we're working out the details, is maybe those that want to retire early, maybe there needs to be a early retirement option to be given. And those are items that we are considering right now because of the uncertainty. There's no vaccine, there's no cure. We don't know what the future holds. And we want people to be safe. And so those are discussions that are happening right now. If you go to the next slide, it shows the progression of the virus from the start in a steep increase. That's when we got hit hard, early May. The full hit, the capacity of our healthcare system reached its fullest in mid-April, but the cases, the peak was in early May, early May, yes. And as you see the gradual increases, and that bump, that's the Memorial Day weekend. And you could see another increase there in June, mid-June. And you can see that July 16th, you could see that slight increase again. And we're, again, saying that that's the 4th of July weekend. But comparing it with other spikes, the July 4th weekend, I think everybody that was able to stay home stayed home and wore their mask. See, that's what I mean about not letting down. We got to continue to do what we're doing so that we can gradually open our nation. And you can see that slight increase, but it's starting to flatten again. And we are monitoring that here on Nation. Now, if you go to the next slide, now this is the cases, or this is the condition around the Navajo Nation with a 14-day data. Now, the question there is there a 14-day downward trajectory across the states? And as you look, there's a lot of red throughout the United States, especially where we're at. And Arizona is really dark red, and Utah is dark red. Nevada, California. Now, the light red in Colorado and New Mexico does see an increase, but it's not as bad as the other states like Utah and Arizona. Now, if you go to the chart on the right-hand side there, it shows you Arizona peaking and then coming back down and now flattening. But we are also monitoring how many people are being tested. See, here on Navajo Nation, 35.9% of our total population has been tested, above any other state in this country. And so when we look at Arizona, how much are they testing their population? Because if they're not testing much of their population, that could contribute to that dipping of the curve there. If you look at Colorado, you see a spike and going up, and it's flattening out. New Mexico is just a gradual increase. There's people there that are pushing back on wearing masks. Masks do slow down the spread of COVID-19. If there's somebody out there that can show Navajo as a case study, it will show that because Navajo people are wearing masks, that is the reason why we have a downward trend in COVID positive here on Navajo. Now, if you look at Utah, a spike and starting to come down. But again, we're monitoring these states all around us, even as far as California and Nevada, because we got a lot of our relatives that live and work in those areas. And right now, as I have said before, now is not the time to come home if you are in these red states, dark red, and even the mild red states. And I pray and I ask you just to stay there at your place. If you need to get resources to your family members, send them money. Yeah, we encourage our Navajo citizens to stay here in the nation and purchase their goods here on the nation. And you look at Navajo, it's yellow. You could see the spike and then the coming down, and you could see the gradual increase again, but the flattening out. And that's because of each and every one of you. I can't reiterate how proud I am of you, but we have to continue to do what we have been doing, or else we're going to see increases. We have been fortunate to see numbers under 100. Our goal now, I want to put a goal for all of us. Let's get the numbers under 50. Let's get 14 days straight of numbers under 50. And so we reached 50 on July 15th. And from then on, you got 32, 25, and 24. So you have numbers below 50. Let's continue to go doing that. That way we can start opening some of the parks, some of the other businesses here on the Navajo Nation. I'm not saying we're going to open up restaurants for large gatherings, but I think there needs to be a gradual reopening for us here on Navajo. It'll still continue to be closed for our visitors, but I know many of us want to travel out, want to go to the lakes, we want to go to the tribal parks. And if we can get a 14-day trend of under 50, that will support reopening certain places for Navajo usage. So we can take our families there. I know we want to go out and spend time outdoors and have some fellowship with your immediate family. I'm not saying to invite everybody, but you've been in your household with your immediate family. And if you wear masks out there, and continue to do that, even outside, we can slow down and stop the spread of COVID-19. The last chart there, Eli, is there a 14-day downward trajectory, 7-day incident rate by week? And you can see Arizona there. It kind of went down and just went up. New Mexico went up, went down, and flattened out. This is the cases in Arizona border towns, and that's, the border towns on the Arizona side. There's an increase by 4%. And Page and Flagstaff, Winslow, Holbrook, those are communities that we're monitoring because we got a lot of Navajos that live in the border towns. So July 25th, we're going to have a big meeting today, and we'll announce this tomorrow. If the 27th, July 27th is the day. We got healthcare experts that are going to give us some updates about what's happening all around us, and we're going to make a informed, data-driven decision on whether to reopen in phases on the 27th, or we keep our Navajo Nation government closed. There is a balance. You got businesses that are hurting here on one side, and small businesses that are struggling, and then on this side we got the health and well-being of our nation that we're protecting, that we want our nation healthy. Look at what happened when other states around us opened up early without any phase-in approach. It just opened it up, and you saw that skyrocketing cases in those states. So, ladies and gentlemen, Washington do Navajo Nation that's on the deal hat no bayat kadicha akon the kojezel indan lenigi galchin the Ghana the yego da iltragi e kodo bispande idole hashit au ya adadilni alsadate di andal yago an hinhid nede pa anda dolni di is the nalyahoba one that egi businesses da yoshye digi donle tundazion just like ya fish that egi soda hadaile thought the la nadans and kishin do johagan da sit kan de kwishin desik ada za edo nakha anda dolni qat ai chadil edo aniche بالغانا ايدو اتشنينا بالغانا شيء عندي با تاتل خالدون اكوندنيكي كدو ادا خويلياغو تو ياكون نيلو اي خط اديل نيل تدي نو بايل شكيروشنا aro ke ada inolni do kodo nakhalchin do biche yadalti kodo saatla shiche koliyaya at ayajle naltsos shiche koyilla o he no kodo nakhanan nashodo di kodo zel indan lenigi hanne shiche kodalna isin tsagi he lashna tani nigilno aro shmado shje kanjanago haganda ho a kade a yedago a chiyelti no kan hasli hagan has ad o yoda zu sahalon khola akon de sad ishje koyilla de tingo da del khaligi kade a hagan da sita a chiyedel da sitli George kidai hot ene ya haganamaz has agol chiyedel kine yego ant shi yaji we hain na bina ga na ina tinishi kad ben da ni tin yanda an ha sa han chi kolia ya hetans sadodan di kanda has sling at noda ya dalti dag eto da sling do kad ngalchinda ye all ildo ni nan tin de ko dei ya da no in antine nasi to lefta di no da yeltke de nani clean judik at ho agi de kosen tragi nachnegi bin na haran da si tragi hot in antin galchen in da krege bi kondel ye da bezil do le jodle da ultra das ne loshi do hot yen da antin da bin nagi jo the any clinic an he asatin hin antin halongot ik bin antinigi asati ebini na kodo na antin khalchin biche ashchane del nago ye da bezil dole eishi be hada inolnen hido ada da isunol sagi do dan hinalligi ada ondishni di mask da tagi chudal ada yida golt yadalki hasta kesla do billah ana inzad elch yadalki khala washto nihilla be khada kis ada haganden da sotra chudi gogot an antin kiche kodalia zel endan lenigi yego da iltragi ebini nai kodobe has ani atrapist so ebini na kont an da krego ni chinton ze dikedas to lefta di no be has ani hadelia zel enon da krego na lia ba havan da krego chede betroda in da hokha e chodal Aron hilla do trada kis. The hand sanitizers that egi chudasle. The zel indan lenigi do nalyaba on das neligi elat. Kon kalawash do tro chudayosle. Tro da oslago yilla aqua trada kis da dabdi no da ilala. Nalyaba on Flandazlo. Tachi ato dande. Could a leshi do leshkido shina. Had I not nido here la ashil so de shlichi qua. Banda huil quich. Tashi dal adadon. Allah edenan Allah ja ibni nagi eya ya kon niktina antin. Kodon hijashan and daily igi. Ebenina. Eben dat nachtje na schone ik nachtleen. Ngalchen ni het zo ken hi nalle ken hi ke dan lenigi. Kodane ja shane dalle. Kot ja di natje kodai ni lo dat de nebiki op ka di nachtleen. Ado Aquichishi, Atatsutato, it's allowed, is in the Shindo, Ani, but so that Zenigi, Judy Yinchi, Naha, Ilan, Sobansus, Kestikon, Yakon, Mikligi, did the cousin Skagi, Nahast aids at the Eben Nacha Hadainofna. Diego that Ido beach Edi Kahoda, Nitzilo, a date, the nanny cleaning. So consortium has sido leto the inhilta. God bless each and every one of you. And I'll stop here. And again, thank you for the work that you are doing. We gotta keep doing this together. And I know that everybody is wanting what's happening with the money and money. And money is the root of all evil, as they say in the Bible. But I know that that could improve the quality of life for our Navajo citizens. But the health is of utmost importance here. Even though the money is now here, the little resources that we receive, we manage to do for ourselves and make this money, make this virus go down on our nation. Let's continue to do that. Let's continue to support one another through this pandemic, and our leaders and office of the president, vice president, my brother Myron Lizer and I, we want to get a shot in the arm for our economy here on the Navajo Nation. That means we got to boost our economy. How much of this money can we keep here on the Navajo Nation to flow here to help our economy? Or do we want it just to leave the Navajo Nation and have millionaires once again? It's up to us. It's up to you. The monies and the aid that we have received can do a lot if we spend our monies here on the Navajo. It's up to you, I know people are going to say, well, we don't have a Walmart, we don't have a whatever. But we have the basic necessities here on the Navajo Nation. Other things you could call luxury. The basic necessities of life is here on the Navajo Nation. So take advantage of that. Stay here on our nation. The safest place to be is on the Navajo Nation, as you have seen the data. The safest place to be is at home. So God bless you. God bless our great Navajo Nation. I turn the time over to my brother, Myron Lizer, our vice president of the Navajo Nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, a great report on what it looks like here on Navajo, and also a show of promise for the future as we look to see what opening up our economy, bringing back our Navajo Nation workers back, what that all looks like. And so everything, as you know, is due to the information that we receive from our health professionals, our epidemiologists, and the data. We look at it and scrutinize it, and through the counsel of all of those experts out there, we arrive at our decisions. And so, as our president has said, it's complicated when the desire is to open and to put our nation's finance back to work, and also to be able to allow our non-essential businesses to open. But certainly, we're preserving health, looking out for the protection of our people. And as leaders, we make the tough decisions, and we're either scrutinized for it or we're celebrated for it, but we're still able and ready to make those decisions. And so as we preserve life, it comes with the tension of keeping those businesses from opening until solid information can be derived, and we can be confident that as we open, we can recover safely. And so that's always been our goal, and it will continue to be our goal. Through the prayers of our people and the guidance of our experts, we will, with the president's leadership on this, fashion an opening for Navajo that is going to be safe for all. And again, confidence and the peace of mind as we do open. Because I've said all along, our Navajo people, we are consumers, right? There's no question about that. but we are consuming elsewhere. And so there's the tension and the balance that our president talks about. And so we, as president said, I think the theme for the day is as we look, as we aspire, as we forecast what opening up and trying to get some semblance of normalcy in our lives and in our economy, what it's going to look like. And so our president said that we can't stop doing those things that keep us safe, right? Wear masks in public. We've always said that from early on. Just wear your mask, and all around us, people are saying, "Yeah, they work. No, they don't work." You know, and then it was about it was personal rights, right? Infringement of government on the personal liberties and all that, and yet those that kept wearing their masks were probably safe. We saw the riots and the protests going on all around us, and all of a sudden people forgot about the safety protocols and maybe even today are potentially have contracted the virus. So we don't know. We can't make any declarations. It's just that be safe, wear your mask. And so, those are the safety protocols that are in place in our businesses. Masks are required, even though the states all around us maybe at one point didn't require masks. That doesn't mean that it was right or safe. It just meant that's what somebody was observing, and leadership had dictated that, masks, you're not required to. But we've since seen all of the municipalities and all state governments, again, with the goal of opening their businesses, they have relented and said, yeah, wear your mask. Now all masks are required whenever you go out in the public, any business. And so, again, it is what it is. But we've always said, as leadership of the Navajo Nation, that masks are required. Wash your hands, simple. Just some of you are very, very good at that. Some of you are, germaphobes, as they say, just constantly washing hands, constantly sticking on the hand sanitizer. So nothing should change, maybe even escalate the practice. And so it's very important to have all of these supplies at your beck and call. Keep your surroundings clean and sanitize your homes regularly. Maybe one way to improve on this is to do it more frequently. Maybe enlist all others that are in your household, in your businesses, in your workplace to do it more frequently. And so we can certainly continue to combat this virus. Staying home, simple. You're home, you're most safe. You don't allow anybody to come in. And so that's our safe haven, is just return to home. Buying Navajo, buying local as well, right? I just said that we are all consumers. When we need food, we need supplies, we do go to those places that stock it readily. And so if we stay local more often, maybe all the time now, right, that'd be our new standard. Buy Navajo, buy local. We save ourselves from going potentially, and we reduce the chance, the potential. That's all we're talking about, is reducing or mitigating this us potentially contracting this virus. And so when we travel abroad, there's more chances. And then it's really just about keeping our people here and from potentially being exposed to the virus. And so buy Navajo, buy local. I believe we can open up and recover safely. Ours is an economy that needs to be developed from here on out, right? No more should we look to elsewhere for goods and services. And more business development is very important. And so this is certainly a good segue from what President was saying at the the last portion of his discussion. And we appreciate our president's leadership in this here, and how he leads and how he helps us to be safe, but also with the mindset as leaders of the government, we do have to consider when we will open up our businesses here on Navajo. As President has said, it's a balance, right? When the decision to open up our non-essential businesses, we face a very real threat of our small businesses going out of business, furloughing its employees, thus losing any benefits they might have, and losing market share, right? And I think that's the tension. Those businesses in our surrounding states, Salt Lake, Utah, and Phoenix, and Arizona, right? They were enjoying robust economies, just doing a lot, unprecedented, and then this pandemic hit. And so their desire and their temptation is to get back all that was lost, all that was stalled, all that was put on hold, and to try to attain those levels again. And certainly, this pandemic is not a respecter of people. It will impact anyone. And so that's what we really have to do. And as we look to protect our most vulnerable citizens, then we have to look at limiting the openings of certain businesses and limiting capacity as well. And so we have to weigh all those. As President said, we have to balance those. And so we're really protecting those with predisposed health conditions, and then our most vulnerable population, right? Our elders, I mean, they're precious to us. And so this virus has exposed and magnified all of our shortcomings here on Navajo. We talk about health disparities, right? I mean, more and more of our population, we already have issues. We have obesity, we have diabetes, we have heart problems, we have other conditions that really are magnified by this virus, because the virus attacks those individuals. And so when it does, without the proper protocols, then people are more susceptible. And we've seen it play out, the older elders and the most vulnerable, those ones are that have predisposed health conditions, they have succumbed. And sadly, we, are all in this together, and we as a nation need to become healthier. And so President has always advocated for changing our diets, changing our lifestyle, and to the point of being so active and running and, being active. And it helps itself prolong our lives here on Navajo. And so anything we can do as leadership to bolster and to enhance the quality of life here on Navajo, we're going to do it. And we're going to try to mimic it. And we've limited the candy, right, during our fairs. And we promoted supporting local farmers and growers, their produce, their crop, their vegetables. It was a beautiful thing to see that and to be able to support our Navajo growers. And so we continue to do so. We'll make it an opportunity for them to, get their goods and services out there. And so we need to develop more farmers market types. Our own Navajo Nation Shopping Center Incorporated are talking about micro grocery stores. And so it's a great concept. I think we need to continue to mine that. What are the possibilities here on Navajo? And so, as I mentioned, that this virus has exposed and magnified all of our shortcomings here, the health disparities. We have 36% of our people who don't have access to running water. That's been exposed here. We have many of our nation that don't have power, and yet we have transmission lines that crisscross our nation. How did that come to be? I mean, we can't place blame anywhere other than that's our present reality. So these are all magnified in this pandemic. We need broadband and internet capabilities brought to every corner of the Navajo Nation. And, in a day and age where digital technology is advancing and is on the level that we can only aspire to achieve, this technology is not being advanced here on Navajo. And so we need to bring that. And so that has been exposed here. What with the telehealth now that is rampant, it helps, but we don't have that necessary infrastructure. So that's been exposed. And then also because we can't meet in large gatherings and our children can't go to college and the universities to continue their studies, then teleeducation and meeting on the virtual classrooms is the norm now. And yet our children can't enjoy these simple and much needed amenities. It's not even an amenity, it's a need to keep up and to be counted as a true sovereign nation. We need to be able to enact our own laws and to be able to work through any and all obstacles to advance the cause of bringing broadband and helping these disparities on our nation. And so the virus, this pandemic, has exposed that for us. And so we have need for many more storefronts here on Navajo, right? It's been said we have 11 grocery stores, and it's my personal goal as the vice president of business development, right, to, along with JT and along with our president's leadership, to fashion 6 more grocery store types storefronts here on Navajo, whether it's a micro grocery store or something. We need to bring more enhanced ways of shopping here on Navajo. And so that is our commitment, and we will make that happen with those that I mentioned earlier, with all their help, and our 24th Navajo Nation Council. And as I know, they'll be advocating for these very grocery stores to be brought to their chapters. So we'll be working on that as well. So as we develop our nation, our people readily travel great distances to purchase their goods and services. As I said, we are all consumers. We're just consuming elsewhere. We need to be mindful of that. And so when we are doing that, it's not good. We make other people rich, as our president just mentioned, and we come back and we cry to our government, where are all the jobs? It's ironic that that's how it's played out, right? Those that are the loudest crying for all the jobs and for decisions to be made to spend this money, they're the ones that are shopping in the border towns. As President said, making others rich. We need to flip that and turn around and support Navajo businesses. And I've always said that. And so we are robbing our young people and their children of a stronger future. That's very evident, plain and simple. I can't say it any other way. I could be more critical about it, but I'll tone it down for this and be encouraging. And those that say that the prices are too high here on Navajo, I understand that as well. Those are our present realities. So it's a question of what comes first, right? The chicken or the egg, what comes first? Do business owners have to lower their prices, discount their prices to bring and entice our Navajo people to buy more Navajo, buy more locally? Or do those consumers, our own Navajo people, bite the bullet and start buying Navajo, buying local? You see, if owners, because I am an owner, was an owner, and I know this full well, if they lower their prices, they run the very risk of running themselves out of a business because they can't pay the bills. Our prices are a lot higher here on Navajo simply because of an economic mechanism that most should understand. When you don't create anything, when you don't export goods and services off your nation, you're not receiving any income, any revenue from that. As I said, we're all consumers here on Navajo. It's like, you've heard the term bedroom community, right? When people just sleep in a community and then they go elsewhere to work and to live and play and relax, and then they come back home to their community and then they just sleep, right? We're like a bedroom reservation. We don't create much. We simply are consumers. And so when federal money comes in, when grants come in, they quickly turn around and they go right back out because we're purchasing some non-Navajo goods and services. And again, this has just been a mechanism that's been repeated over the years. And so as we start to export, the prices of those goods coming onto Navajo will become cheaper because there's promise of a return shipment going back out. So right now in the present state, because we have no exporting, the goods and services that do come on to Navajo are more expensive, and the owners bear that cost. Thus, they have to recoup that cost, and they have their prices elevated. And so that's just the bare bones of it, why our prices here on Navajo are more expensive. I don't think then the owners should have to discount to entice people to come and buy and frequent their establishments, because they will risk running themselves out of business. We're so off the beaten path, so to speak. We have to bring up infrastructure. We have to maybe even subsidize prices for and costs for everyday business, the overhead costs, right? Cheaper electricity for commercial businesses, cheaper water and sewage rates for our businesses to entice them to come set up shop here. And then, we could bring in more buyers and consumers. So until that happens, we'll have to play this game. And those of you who may, sacrifice, well, I'm just going to pay higher prices here on Navajo. Well, I think it's just a perspective. You're providing a future for your children and your children's children by your daily buying habits. And so, when you and everybody else across Navajo starts to realize it, and it's not going cold turkey. I guess we could still go to Walmart and Home Depot and all the big boxes and stuff. But if we can buy more things here on Navajo, I've shared the story that I used to, before I became vice president, I would, if I had to go to a border town, I would make sure I fueled up my tank here on Navajo. And sometimes I came in on a wing and a prayer. My gas tank was on E, and the buzzer was going off, bing, bing, bing. And I'm thinking, I'm really in danger of running out of gas here. But I was so committed to buying Navajo and to buying from our own Navajo Petroleum. And so I'd get there and, again, on a wing and a prayer, and come in and fill my tank up. And so that was just, I don't even see it as a sacrifice. It was just a principle that was honored time and time again. And, that extended into shopping locally for everything that we could. And I realized we don't have everything. So I'm advocating, the more Shidane you buy Navajo and buy local, we'll have more opportunity. We'll have stores that we sell appliances here. We have furniture. We'll have salons. We'll have grease shops, tire shops. We'll have auto body repair places. We'll have everything you see, and then are enticed to go to the border towns and the big cities. We'll see those start to pop up here. I have some ideas and plans that I've thought of before I became vice president, and certainly I've thought of those after I became vice president, but they take time. And as we alleviate obstacles, bureaucracy, and red tape here on Navajo, working with our BIA and our Department of Interior, say, hey, this we could use without this, right? The right-of-way problem, the land withdrawal problem, the rules that govern our surveys and our clearances that are needed to be obtained. When we all can come together and then pinpoint every constraint, every bottleneck here on Navajo, I believe we can, become that one-stop shop where you could open up a business within a matter of days, if not hours, because of the technology that we'll have in place. And so I think the sky's the limit for us here on Navajo, but it starts with you, your daily buying habits, because the more tax revenue that's generated here on Navajo stays on Navajo. More opportunity for entrepreneurs who right now are wanting and desiring to come home. There's no place to live. And so Nez Lizer been talking about bringing homes and building more homes. And that mechanism, that plan has been set in place, working with our own Veterans Director, Jim Zwerlein, and others, NHA, we will be able to fashion more homes. They said we needed 5,000 homes, and we needed it yesterday. When those homes get built, when pre-planned communities are set in place, I believe our Navajo young professionals will start to come home. Life is simpler here on Navajo, with not as many issues and burdens as there are in the big cities, right? Or as we call it, the rat race, right? I mean, who wants to be a part of a rat race? I used to be a part of that. I used to wake up at 4 a.m. every morning, go to work by 5 o'clock, get off by 3 o'clock, and do it day in, day out, home to work, home to work, home to work, home to work. Next thing you know, 20 years has gone by, 30 years, and you're like, wow, what was all that for? Well, I have a house in the valley, but now I desire to go home. Well, we're working on that to bring more capacity to Navajo, to bring more opportunities, because economically we get it now. This pandemic has shifted things, and we will focus a little bit differently. We need to provide services, and we need to provide opportunity for our people. And so this is where we're at. This is the reset, and welcome to our reset. And so I know that was a long diatribe there. It's a trickle-down effect, Chidinan. When you change your daily buying habit, make more of an impact here on Navajo. For those buy Navajo, buy local, there'll be more dreams realized for our young entrepreneurs. I know they desire to come home, and I know they want to. They're telling government right now, and now I'm part of this government. They're telling us, honor your laws, the Navajo Business Opportunity Act, procurement laws, purchasers, buying agents, all of you that make decisions for these programs and departments all across Navajo to the tune of billions of dollars. This is it. This is our time to shine, to be mindful, and to take the time to study those businesses that are out there. And for the businesses that are out there, get certified, become your priority 1, priority 2, and I promise you, with President's help, with JT Willie's help of our economic development, we will advance every care and concern of our business owners here on Navajo and our consumers on Navajo. It's going to be that important that we need to get this work done, and we need to do it fast. And one last thing I want to mention, when you buy Navajo, buy local, 1% of that tax revenue that's generated goes to purchasing emergency vehicles. Recently, you just saw some posts on Facebook where we have 7 new emergency type vehicles, fire trucks, EMT technician vehicles, rapid transport, 7 beautiful state-of-the-art. President and I were playing with a little remote control, and we wanted to drill a new hole in the rock there and make another window rock with the pressure from that water. But this latest technology and advancements we're able to bring to Navajo. When you buy Navajo, buy local. And so 7 new beautiful fire trucks. Somebody's watching. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Fire Chief Larry Chi and John Williams, my brother. You guys are doing a tremendous job over there. I just heard the siren. It's just right down the way. We appreciate you, and we'll continue to advance your cares and concerns. We'll bring more fire trucks to Navajo, right? More, because too, that helps economically. When you have, because I've been a business owner, we paid very expensive fire insurance because our fire in all our stores there was really, how close is the fire hydrant, right? How close is the first fire station? And when you have fire stations all around, fire hydrants all around, your cost to protect your business or your structure goes down. And so that means bringing your costs down, cost of goods. So that's just another aspect, economics at its finest. But when you understand that, you'll see that it's all a trickle-down effect. When you get found faithful in the small thing, the larger things come to you. The opportunities come to you. And that's what I'm talking about here, Shadene, is that these are what we're talking about in your daily buying habits. And so I appreciate our first responders, our nurses fighting this COVID. I appreciate the fire department. Again, Fire Chief Larry Chi and you all and your leadership there, we appreciate. And so I know I've gone on, and then this is just what I understand. And I could talk for hours, literally hours, and I have done so in the past. When you can understand business and bringing businesses to Navajo, I think we talk the same language. Everybody wants to stay home. Everybody wants to spend more time with their family. And, that's where it starts, is you're not on the road driving 2 hours to the nearest border town to get your supplies. You can go around the corner and buy from a reputable Navajo-owned business with whatever you need. And so that's the future, Shadene. And so I just want to thank you again, Vice President Liza here, Comanche Nestle, Tohana Basistin, Ado Comanche Deshache, Clash Chanel. It is good to be with you this morning. And now, without further ado, speaking on the census, 2020 census, which is very important for you all to stand and be counted. And right now, Arbin Mitchell, sorry, I always get his name mixed up. Arbin, my brother Arbin Mitchell, is going to talk about the latest updates on our census. And so here he is. Arbin Mitchell, take it away.
Yeah, Vice President. President, since I'm isolated here at my home, let me go ahead and take off my mask with the setta. Since I'm talking about PPEs for census employees nationwide, one of the requirements is that we have to wear masks and when we're doing field enumeration, on the office work, the requirement is that we wear masks. And one of the requirements, which is also is the social distancing, 6 feet apart. No, President Yahanatsi, also Vice President Yahanatsi, low about the Hana, also Zin. So when we're doing enumeration out there, they're trained for making sure that they're wearing their masks, making sure that they're social distancing when they're doing questionnaire drop off. Update leave, but no. Office I initiate social distancing or desks or like 6 feet apart. A mask we wear them. Although hand sanitizer, all the enumerators have hand sanitizers that were provided by Census. If they want to wear gloves, we have gloves that are made available for all the enumerators. Equipment, again, here in the office, it's mandatory that we wear gloves when we're handling equipments and other supplies. So Census is very making sure that we protect the health and safety of our employees and then also the public. Every 10 years. In the United States Constitution back in 1790. That's a long time, 230 years ago. The census I don't know. From the Navajo Nation, not only nada teacher. I don't Washington or it's very important. It's very important that we're counted so we can get our fair share and get and have our equal representation through the census count every 10 years. Right now, update leave. We're still doing update leave. In the questionnaire housing unit, we're hanging this questionnaire on the door handle. I don't gate padlock. What we're doing right now is putting these questionnaire on your gate fence. So if you see one on your gate fence, there'll be an address written inside. So if you have two or three houses on the lot, you can identify which one is your right packet of the questionnaire again. Update leave the snow about August the 7th. July the 7th, deadline day extended for Indian country because of all the COVID-19. Some Indian tribes haven't reopened their reservation yet for census workers or outside visitors. June the 11th, the update leave. Self-response, from outside media. How come Navajo is only at this percent? No. So the reason why we're only at 9.4% is that we started back out until June the 11th. The questionnaire. Once you get your questionnaire, you'll have a census ID number on the address, and then you respond by internet on the nation. We like connectivity on the computer, on the internet, hotspot. So you can respond back with the computer. You can phone your questionnaire into questionnaire the phone number So they not so don't not on the restrictions of the hard copy. You can mail that back. So what a self response no and Navajo Nation after so many years, 230 years, a self response. But anyway, we're doing quite well. We're doing quite well. Because self response there's 38 tracks, 38 census tracts within the Navajo Nation. Let me just go. Navajo Nation as a whole, we're responding 9.4%. 9.4%. Arizona, J 58.9. New Mexico, a 51%. Although Utah is 66. So when you compare 9% to 50%, but these percentage on the state and then also at the county, and they March they started back in March when they received a postcard that had their census number on there. When they have street address again, we lack street address even in we have to deliver questionnaire. I don't know. Apache County, a 14.9%. This was as of yesterday. Navajo County, 27%. Coconino County, 40%. New Mexico, McKinley County, 26%. San Juan County, 42%. A lot of these percentage on the county side and on the state side, they're sort of stuck at these numbers. They've been at this number for the last couple of weeks. We were only 8.2 the other day. So we jumped 1% in a day, 1% in a day, which is good. In a week, we jumped 3.8%. It's above average. So we're doing quite well. I don't know, Tanya. Every week I have these teleconference with chapter official, presidents, vice presidents, town hall meeting. We jumped 3% within a week, which is good. Let me just go over some facts that are doing good. The one that is doing real good, 21.9%. 29.9%, which is high. So I'd like to congratulate all those folks that are living in Hatatzid and Lupton in the Yitla. Other Tunanis is at 17.6. Other Window Rock, were responding 16.9%. Other Herfindahl Yeezy Counselor, Eastern Agency, 15.5%. Other 15.4, Upper Fruitland, other Ninanza. Other Hawk and Oak Springs, a 14.7% or responding back. Other St. Michael, Sawmill, Red Lake, Crystal, and part of Fort Defiance, a 14.4%. Other Rama, other Bahada, 14.1%. Other Rock Spring, Church Rock, Pinedale, Yonbito, and Toha at 13%. Other Mariano Lake, Smith Lake, Casimir Lake, Baca, and Daru at 12.5%. Crown Point, Lower Water, Lake Valley, 12.3%. Other Red Rock, Manlito, and Chichalca at 12.2%. So these areas, they're doing quite well. You probably noticed that these are chapters that border towns, like Tonanis, they probably have the internet. Although the chapters around Yellow, although Eastern Agency, they they border towns. So a lot of these higher numbers, it seems like the trend is that way. Lupton, Oak Springs, St. Michael's, on the Window Rock, Sawmill, we're doing quite well. But in middle Navajo Nation, Central Navajo Nation, Northern Navajo Nation, Utah Navajo Nation, they're still in the 3%. So we need to tell the folks out there, give a lot of awareness, education to make sure that they respond to the census. Quotation the response rate. I don't that not August the 7th go update leave it's quotation do not August the 11th that same week. You'll hear a knock on the door again. And that Katanani Sandole. The other not on in-person interview, which we don't want to do. See, sort of risky to be going from house to house. But one of the plan is maybe we can do phone interview, and the enumerator can be sitting outside, sitting in the vehicle, and then we can call into your house, and then we can do the enumeration. Maybe that's a way to go. So August the 11th, a non-response follow-up, no bahate. The self-respond. So if you don't want to hear it knock on the door again from census, let's all self-respond. That way, you want be part of the non-response follow-up. The October 31st, the non-response census again. So the absolute deadline to do the census is October the 31st. Every week, we've been having helping people with their questionnaire response. Yesterday, every Monday, we're over at Crown Point Shopping Center. Every Monday, every Monday we're also at Pinyon. Every Tuesday we're at Shiprock. And over at Kayenta. Every Wednesday we're at Tuba City. And Burnside Junction, we added that one too. Shopping center. Every Thursday we're at Delcon and Chinle. 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. We'll be at the Navajo Shopping Center parking lot. We'll have our census workers there. You need to bring your questionnaire, because the questionnaire, you'll have your ID number and then also your address again. So for the month of July, we'll be at these places every the same day, the same time, the same place again. The mobile questionnaire assistant, MQA, wonder up the shot on something a trailer the fairgrounds so again questionnaire get okay president, the vice president, census 2020, and then again, they wasn't doing that. I don't know, so that area, I don't not any not that sort of even in Kodoyego didn't need to so let's go in. Let's all be counted. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mr. Mitchell, appreciate you. You've been doing a great job. That's right. Everybody, let's stand and be counted. So those of you that can do it on the over the web, the internet, do so. For those of you who can't, please make every attempt to be counted. So thank you, Mr. Mitchell, again. Yeah, you're doing a great job. Thank you for your leadership. Okay, on next to our next guest is Dr. Jill Jim, our Executive Director of Health here on Navajo, where she has been working feverishly, nonstop for over 4.5 months. And so our prayers go to her and her office and all of her staff. And, we look forward to her. She's been on probably 10, 15 calls a day. So those of you out there listening and watching, please keep Dr. Jill Jim in your prayers. And, as we all do as leadership here, and we all look to her for information, for gathering information and making reports. And, not only does she report to the Office of the President, Vice President, but she also has our 24th Navajo Nation Council and any and all others, state agencies, and even the federal government, FEMA, and the like. So we appreciate her leadership in this time, this pandemic. And so thank you, Dr. Jim, for joining us this morning. And so without further ado, just want to let you all know to pray for Dr. Jim and her department. And this is a health crisis and a health emergency. And she happens to be the executive director of our Navajo Division of Health. Dr. Jim, take it away.
Thank you, Vice President Ikihet, for the introduction. And I think all our work and during this pandemic has lasted, almost half a year now. And just want to also acknowledge that our leaders, our tribal leaders, and everyone else has been working very hard every day since the first case that we saw on March 17th, 2020. And as we begin hearing conversations about the COVID-19 at that time. So just want to also acknowledge and thank all the federal partners, local partners, especially Vice President and President, for being out in the community and informing the public about staying home and staying safe by protecting our families. So, Adoshi Ikihet non Nikitini do non Chik Edo Shidnet She Georgia Minchkedo Executive Director and Shanka Adi East Bahayana Navajo Department. Olienedo Don and Shone look on Sean Tachini Bashichin do Ishin do Shichi do Zofane do Shnala Ado not this on the ice and not Shado Kadi. Not only Kadi Ikihet Bedini di Kadi Isne Ani Ada Isne Ahagi Ikihet and Kadini do Dyson Agi. Akui Jen Kadi the Kosantagi Kadi Nas Ada Kadi Bada Hailnet like Kado by a day that's all yeah. A Kadi Adata has not a dino do Adan City Castle Shin Kadi Akui Jen Nila Kata Kiss a Jodo Ato Chian Kadi Chodas and Hoda Di Nila Kata Kiss Kadi Ado di social distancing or yani do is on the kedo bada no sendi had the Dutch on the keldan hedi nedo Kadin one ash at the hono sendo kadia kujibin do clean dot and how to get that okay ben dot just dog kadi tolo wishbe a dog had but distance. And so I just wanted to remind everyone to continue to wash your hands on a regular basis when you travel. Also, when you're out and about running errands, making sure that you disinfect high-touch surfaces as well. And another important reminder is continuing to wear the cloth mask or some sort of mask in public. And then especially if you have someone that has COVID-19 in your family, those having a mask is still required. So I can say that that's a good reminder. Is this not only wearing the mask outdoors, but indoors here at the command center, we continuously wear our cloth mask indoors to also prevent any exposures or even transmissions. It's very important that that's one protective measure you can take personally when you're at work or you're out with your family or you go to a home that you're visiting. If you're visiting someone, you can always take those measures by wearing a face covering when you go to another person's home that you don't normally spend time with on a normal basis. So those are just some kind of reminders, because as we have talked about, that face coverings, face masks are one way to reduce transmission. So this is the new norm in this pandemic. And I appreciate also President mentioning about the need to be out and about again, out in the community. And as much as we would like to resume normal life again, the pandemic has just gotten worse around us across the nation. early May, we were predicting that we'll lift restrictions. The nation was lifting restrictions in certain states for people to resume some sort of normal life, including dining and out there in the cities. And that backlash has definitely hit now. And Arizona is the leader in the leading, I guess, in the number of cases across the United States. So that signals that we have to take extra precautions, especially if we need to go do any kind of shopping or whatnot in nearby border town areas. And those numbers are being monitored on a regular basis, and understanding how that impact is for the nation. So I just want to remind everyone that these are some precautions that we can take. So what I'm going to go ahead and share is just some just reminders that I usually like to include on here, is just moving. I think every day we have, as a reminder, it's always wearing a mask, like I mentioned, around others, just not yourself. You're protecting yourself, you're protecting the next person and any family members. So we did a flyer or an informational sheet on visiting homes. And that was one of these things, was when you visit other individuals' homes, make sure that you do, just out of respect, wear a face covering. People that could wear face covering or none is usually people that are in the home every single day. You know that you're not exposed to COVID-19 and whatnot. So it's just being respectful, and also protecting our elders and those with underlying health conditions. And there, just that perspective by itself, I think, is going to go a long ways in reducing the spread as we continue to consider it as a norm in our Navajo Nation. And avoiding travel outside the Navajo Nation is always a precaution that we highly advise here from the Health Command Center and the Department of Health, as the cases are increasing, as I mentioned, in Arizona and Utah, and as President iterated, that some of those states are what we consider poorly trending or uncontrolled. And those are due to less restrictions on public health orders. So with the support from leadership and the Health Command Center and experts, we've been able to advise individuals to follow certain public health orders, and we appreciate everyone's contribution to those. And one of these new, recommendations is avoiding travel outside the nation, as we want to resume normal businesses on the nation. It might be better to resume businesses with as normal with people that are inside the Navajo Nation, such as accessing our tribal parks, as President mentioned. But we can't do that if we're going off and then coming back from hotspot areas and causing spikes in these communities. So epidemiologists and contact tracers and case managers have been able to identify a handful of cases right now in the Navajo Nation that have traveled off in areas of Kansas Service Unit, Tuba City Service Unit, Rama area. So those are just a few areas. I didn't name all of them. But as one person comes back from a hotspot area who may have not been practicing any prevention, could potentially affect 10 people, 20 people, just by one person coming home and having a birthday party. So those are the types of transmissions that still happen. Although we are saying that our numbers are going down and we need to hit a lower target, the spread is still there to some extent in some areas. And so when you're deciding to travel off the Navajo Nation, and do it for a good reason, a valid reason. I know we've been really hunkered down for the last couple of months, but I think we can certainly train our bodies and our mind to accept the norm and spend more time at home and doing things that we consider something that is reasonable to us to do, like arts and craft or attending to your sheep. Sheep shearing has already come and gone. I think there are areas that we can still do around our homestead that sometimes we don't pay attention to. So consider the risk that you're taking when you're going off the reservation. Is COVID-19 spreading where you're going? Will you or those you are traveling with be within 6 feet of others during or after your trip? Are you or those you're traveling with more likely to get ill? So keeping those at risk at home. Do you live with someone who is more likely to get very ill from COVID-19? So also considering your own home environment when you're deciding to leave your home. Are you considering that you might actually bring it back and get someone else sick? That's very likely considered high risk, either if they're an elder or with other health conditions. Are you prepared to quarantine yourself for 14 days after your trip? And that's just an advisement. When you do go to a hotspot, I think right now individuals that are traveling to Phoenix are most likely bringing it back because there's very high numbers. So I think this has to be considered as a critical recommendation. As you return home, are you going to capable of quarantining yourself for 14 days, looking for symptoms of some sort? And so are you prepared for the risk when you leave the reservation? But this also goes the other direction as people want to come onto the nation. Are you putting others at risk by coming onto the nation to provide supplies or visit with people, to attend parties, graduations? Those are things that are still happening. I'm sure that we want to celebrate some of these graduations or other events, important events, or celebrating family gatherings. I hope that we can find it within ourselves to find other ways to celebrate without putting others at risk. And so as we adjust to some sort of normalcy of living with the pandemic until we get a vaccine, these are community mitigation measures that we continually advise everyone. So always wear your mask, wash your hands, and make sure you practice social distancing. And so when others are reminding you in the community about this, don't get offended by it. Just ensure that it's just a way of addressing what we consider as recommendations to not know who is next to you, how much exposure to COVID-19 do they have? Are they even positive? But if you are positive, you should find every way means possible not to do errands or be out in the community, to shop for food, find someone else to help you. And also we have our command center. If you are COVID positive, if you do need assistance with food or an isolation kit, call our command center hotline, and you have to be referred by a healthcare provider, obviously, or a public health nurse to receive services. And also getting assistance is also open to just calling our hotline at 87928-871-7014. And this is a good COVID-19 risk level chart that we have created, and it looks at your moderate, low risk. And obviously, at least for now, we don't have fairs, we don't have large concerts. Bingos could be happening in the community that we don't know about. So those are at number 9 at the highest risk, traveling off the Navajo Nation. Palace hair salons and casinos are not open. Buffets are not open. Flea markets, sporting events, gymnasiums, churches, ceremonies, and rodeos are not all functioning. So a lot of these things are not really happening, but some areas that you might want to just keep a lookout for is I hope that playgrounds are not being accessed. I mean, kids can still play, but that's probably not recommended. Other areas that you might be doing other activities, some of these are not available on the Navajo Nation, but if you go off the nation and you're participating in these activities, because they have less restrictions, we're just letting you know that you're putting yourself at higher risk by going to these types of facilities or activities that we would consider your risking yourself. Obviously, by staying home, you have no risk if you stay home. So just as a reminder, if you are ready to go to a hospital for COVID-19 or to an isolation site, if you believe that you have been in close contact and you are starting to get symptoms, you might have to have a checklist, notify your emergency contact of your plans, secure your household or personal belongings, arrange for care of any pets or dependent animals are very important. And things to bring with you when you go to the hospital or isolation area, your ID, insurance cards, medications, any health directives that you might have, personal health record, list of telephone numbers, family members and friends, clothing and footwear, extra clothes, toiletries and hygiene products. Other items you might want to consider are just phone chargers, snacks, or books. If you do end up in some of the hotel isolations, you would have to find or bring things to keep you occupied while you're being observed through your well checks. That would be my recommendation going forward. These are just some items to consider. And then if you or someone you know needs help dealing with stress, of emotional effects of COVID-19, we have our National Regional Behavioral Health Center at 505-368-1438 or 505-368-1467. They are available after hours, so the phone numbers are below for four of the areas in Chinle, Dilcon, Farmington, and Shiprock. So if you want to get help, the phone numbers are here regarding just talking about grief, dealing with the pandemic, the stress of the pandemic. I know it can be difficult, but there are resources such as this one available to all of you to come and call these numbers just to talk to individuals that are mental health specialists about your thoughts. So I just want to thank everyone for continuing to offer and continue to practice all of these preventive measures for COVID-19. I just want to thank everyone as well for having the patience and I guess the individual responsibility to not only protect yourself, your family, and your community members, but now this is not the time to think that we should be out celebrating birthday parties, continuing to do that, traveling off the nation. I hope that we can find some sort of balance in the life that we live today with the pandemic. It's certainly been challenging for myself here. As Vice President mentioned, we're here along with tribal leaders and others that are from the command center and healthcare facilities as we're recouping and finding ways to improve and learn from our experience. As the numbers have definitely dropped since May, we were continuing to plan to look at future efforts regarding to vaccinations when there is a vaccination available. There's ongoing conversations about when the second wave will hit, and we hope it doesn't. But as we practice our preventive measures, I hope that we can never experience a second wave, but it'll be really up to all of us. So I just want to thank everyone. Although I can't non-kidding nindo, behastige kwadi yego adot on the kel the shnoye behastito ahoma kanto kwadi ashi ohut and the kwadi the kusentage de go ilkishende ashwanda kwadi anihe kwadi bata hanitsa do nicho hanne do yego yo hanne to no the kwadi hadishi hos the Salt Lake NGA odd kislan the kwadi I used to kwadi the kusentage kushi Dabadel not go te go oho nilon na kwadi hawa the niso tadi nido the shnad kwadi shnado ashon the kwadi that doesn't kwadi what all in the nishodo hate all the kwadi yohoni so kwadi the nebekaya ke kwadi what they nils no shinde Ado yego on the kegodo arch yondo ala de ben yego shinde ya kwan hitso kedo kwadin harchne kwadin bayato kedo kwan da not kino shin kwan he kado chhot kwadi if you had non kedid ni do non kwadi ishni Thank you very much for listening. I just want to thank everyone and all the listeners and have a good day.